Now, how do you actually do triangle pose? Do you cock your hips back and drop down? Do you lengthen out and reach over? Do you place your hand down on your shin and go for a side stretch? I personally wouldn't teach it any of those three ways, but I'll tell you how I teach it. First off, you gotta back up and talk about what is even the purpose of the pose. And the primary purpose is not a side stretch. It's actually to stretch out your adductor, your inner thigh, as well as your hamstring, back of the thigh. And you'll hear a lot of teachers tell you to externally rotate the front leg, but you don't want to do that. If you look at just the front leg and you stand up and do this posture, what you're actually working on is abduction, trying to open up the legs away from midline. So if that's the case and you're trying to do abduction and you're stretching out the inner thigh and you're stretching out the hamstring, where should your pelvis be? You'll hear teachers say, point the hips directly out to the side, which by the way is why they tell you to externally rotate the front leg, because if you over rotate beyond your range, this leg is also going to come with you and it's going to look like an internal rotation. So basically you're going beyond your max. So don't take it there. Come back to the purpose of the pose and point your hips wherever you start to feel a stretch in your inner thigh. If you start to go a little bit further and you feel this foot caving in, you drop down onto the arch, the knee is coming in, then you've gone too far. Second step, you want to squeeze the legs together instead of spread and dump. The reason for that is you engage the muscle that you're trying to stretch, as well as you prevent a bit of hyperextension in the knee. If you just try to push the foot forward, the knee tends to lock out when you do that. So now that we've taken this away from being a passive stretch, we're gonna go on to the third step. While you're squeezing the legs in towards each other, you're gonna slowly tilt about the pelvis. And you don't want to cock the hips back because that tends to release the engagement that you built up in the front leg, as well as it brings it back to that hyperextension in the front knee. Sometimes you'll tend to come into this side stretch, which means that your pelvis is not tilting along with you. So come back up and start to tilt from the pelvis and stop wherever you feel tightness. For me, right here is great, especially when I'm hugging the legs in towards each other. This is plenty. Triangle pose.